Welcome back to Sideline Shenanigans. It is our mock draft-a-thon. Welcome.
Almost back into the NFL, baby. Draft is coming up. It is sneaking up on us. I'm excited, though. I feel like the draft is the last... That's when the new season really starts to me.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. Like, here we go. The pieces are in place.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really buy league year rules. I think the real league year starts after this draft. And this is, of course, another wonky draft, which I'm just going to keep blaming NIL on. You'll notice the screen says Emma's Mock 2.0, which, by the way, if you're a listener, go check us out on YouTube. This is the episode to watch the YouTube. We got our picks up on the screen. This is going to be Emma's Mock 2.0 because I did a draft before this to sort of get a bearing of things, and now I've went back and made some edits. So only Cole got to see 1.0. You guys don't get to see 1.0.
I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, he didn't look at it, so don't worry about it.
I skimmed it.
One thing I'm going to say before we get into the mock is this draft, you're going to hear a lot of the same thing over and over again. Production versus traits, right? A lot of prospects have really good production, but not the best traits, like a Ruben Bain. Or a lot of prospects have really good traits, but haven't necessarily had the starts or the production, like a Monroe Freeling. So that's something you're going to hear in discussion a lot. Also, there's a lot of injuries riddled with our top guys in this draft. And I'm going to talk a lot about fit and coaches, because I think that makes the difference.
Totally.
Let's get into it. Who do you think the number one pick is?
It's a tough call.
Tough call.
Ty Simpson?
Okay, Orlovsky. So I put my picks 1 through 10 up on the screen. Let's just roll through the top 5 with a couple surprises in there. I feel really good, by the way, that these are going to be the first 10 guys off the board. Not sure about the order, though. So, I got Raiders taking Fernando Mendoza at 1. Not much to say about this. He's the clear number 1 pick. He's accurate. He's big. He's tough. High character. He's got mobility questions and maybe arm strength questions. But to me, he's a great pocket passer. Clear number 1 pick. So, we're probably going to spend a lot of time talking about 2. You're going to hear the Arvell Reese versus David Bailey debate. And I'm of the belief whoever doesn't go to the Jets at 2 is going to fall out of the top 5, or our team's going to trade up for them. I had the Jets taking Arvell Reese. To be clear, this is not the choice I would make, but Aaron Glenn, he believes in highly versatile, multi-front systems. That's a direct quote from him. This is why I think he's going to go with Reese, because he could do a 3-4 or a 4-3, mix it up, do different looks. Reese, he's a multi-tool player. He's got a really high ceiling. We're not so sure about the floor. Cardinals at 3, I have taking Francis Mayoa, offensive tackle. He is a right tackle. I don't think the Cardinals are going to go defense. I think their clearest need is right tackle. He's the best tackle in this draft by a long shot, but he just happens to be a right tackle. That is a pick I feel pretty sold on. Titans at 4 take Jeremiah Love. Saleh saw what CMC did for Brock Purdy. Now, he's a defensive-minded coach. It's hard if David Bailey's on the board to not think that he'll take David Bailey. But look at what he did with the 49ers this year with me and you out there on defense, right? His scheme is superior. I think that he knows his success is tied directly to Cam Ward's success. So let's go and get, the best friend a quarterback can have, which is a strong run game so the defense respects the running back, which is something we talked a lot about with the Chiefs. Giants at 5, Sonny Styles. Now, I was going back and forth between Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles here, thinking about the history Harbaugh has with strong safeties, but Sonny Styles is probably the best player in this draft. I think he's a Harbaugh player. He's tough. He hits hard. He has a high IQ on the field. It feels like a John Harbaugh fit. So those are my top 5. What are you thinking?
I like it. I think if I'm the Jets, I'll start there.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer... So I guess you look at Arvell Reese, and his upside is that he doesn't play one position, really, right?
Yeah.
From my understanding?
Yeah.
Which is great. I just do think, I would rather get a pure edge, which is much more what David Bailey is, right? That just feels like the value of a number 2 overall pick is, best edge in the draft, maybe. That's kind of what I want to be getting there. I do think linebackers so much easier to find in free agency, or,
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it all the time where you can just pick up an amazing linebacker and it's like, wait, what? That guy was even available? I feel like it's happened kind of every offseason at this point, some major linebacker goes. Whereas edge is a little different.
Oh, and edge is a bag. If you can get an edge in the top 10, you're saving money. Exactly.
I do think if they believe Arvell Reese is the best player in the draft, that's fine. Go get him. He won't be... I mean, the Jets are going to be irrelevant either way, so I'll move on from them. Cardinals, I like taking the right tackle. I think that's a great fit. I think teams that aren't quite there yet, I think don't overthink it. Like, build your line early. That's like, I always love that pick. And almost always, like... I think some people are split if, like, Will Campbell was a hit or not. But, like, I saw a redraft the other day, and, like, he moved from 4 to 7th, and that, like, if he was to be redraft. Like, the value is just still so superior than any other player you can get. So I love going tackle. I think where I really differ from you is the value of Jeremiah Love at 4 for me just does not exist. I think that would be a big miss. If David Bailey is on the board, you're the Titans, like, go get him. I think... an amazing edge can be a better friend to a quarterback than a running back at times. Like, get the ball back in Cam Ward's hands and have some stops. Play with the football. Maybe don't, be playing down every single game. I think building that defense with a defensive-minded head coach is just such a stronger... I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like, you can go sign a Super Bowl MVP running back if you want to for $14 million.
Yeah, that's like no money.
Pretty easy. You can't go find that edge. It's like, I think that would be a massive mistake if they go Jeremiah Love that early. I think the Ashton Jeanty situation should show, like, running back shouldn't go top 10. I don't care how good you are. It just doesn't really make sense.
I agree. When people were mocking Love to us, I was not excited. I think if he doesn't go 4 or 7, he falls out of the top 10. I just think... Who is the Titans' best offensive player? Jeremiah Love's a running back. He's a pass catcher. He is going to become a focal point of that offense. And I think the Titans just need a playmaker, period. I don't know if I would take a running back at 4, but it does feel like Cam Ward needs like a best friend out there almost.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I want them to have a playmaker too. I just don't know if running back with this pick is the right choice. I would flip... I think we'll get there, but I would flip, the Commanders and the Titans picks. I can absolutely see the Commanders taking Jeremiah Love. And I like him more at 7. It's still that Ashton Jeanty territory, but, like, if the best edge isn't on the board for the Commanders, I feel much less bad about, rolling the dice on a weapon.
Oh, 100%. I also think... Yeah, it is tough when you think about the contract factor, but I do think Jeremiah Love is better than Jeanty. I think he's the best prospect since Gibbs. The one thing I'll say before we get out of the top 5 is going back to the Jets. I labeled Arvell Reese a linebacker. I view him as more of a linebacker. He declares himself an edge and a linebacker, and if you look at his breakdown of snaps, he played almost 50-50 this past year, but prior to that was mainly a linebacker.
Okay.
I just think... Look at what's going on with Travis Hunter right now. We're enjoying the sirens, guys. We live in New York.
I like that.
Don't worry, it's heating up in draft.
The draft sirens. Yeah.
The pick is in. I think look at Travis Hunter. It's hard to be a jack of all trades and a master of none in the NFL. That's my concern about Arvell Reese. Again, I wouldn't go Arvell Reese at 2. It came down to the coach and the things he said.
Totally.
Okay, let's go through 6 through 10. Now, there's a lot of discussion about who the second best tackle in this draft is. If you ask Field Yates, who I think is probably a top mock drafter right now, he's going to say Monroe Freeling. Maybe I'm biased because he's a Georgia Bulldog. I have him at 6. I don't know if he's the best. I don't know if he's the second best tackle in this draft right now, but I think he has a possibility to be the best tackle in this draft, if that makes sense. He doesn't have a lot of starts. Georgia has a deep depth chart. He just got the left tackle start, essentially, about a year and a half ago. He's really raw, but he is the only true left tackle of those top 4 guys. You might want to go Fano. Now I'm blanking on the other guy's name, but you got Fano and Keaton Proctor. So those 3 guys are kind of in the discussion of who the second best tackle is. Freeling's the only true left tackle. The Browns need a left tackle. They're not trying to win this year, I don't think. I got the Browns focusing on offense this first round, setting Shedeur up for success. So I have David Bailey then falling to 7, as you can see, to the Commanders. I mean, if the board fell this way, I think the Commanders would be ecstatic. I do think if the board falls this way, some the Browns will be getting calls because the Browns can get a tackle a few picks later. They need picks right now. They need stock. I didn't want to do trades in my mock. If the board falls this way, I will be freaking out, for example, if the Chiefs aren't dealing with the Browns. That's a team that needs to think about that. The Bengals should be thinking about that. Really, anyone in that 9 to 15 range should be making calls to the Browns. I got the Saints taking Carnell Tate. I really like Tate. Before Rasheed was stated that there's going to be no punishment, I was hoping we would take Tate. If he's still there at 8, I feel like that's a great deal. I think he's the best wide receiver in this draft, and I don't even think it's close. He's also the only wide receiver that's not like riddled with injuries out of the top 3. Chiefs take Ruben Bain Jr., which I know that you'll probably get to talk about that, but I got mixed feelings about it. I don't like the short arms, but the tape is just, the production's just insane. If it wasn't for the short arms, he'd be the second best player in this draft. Bengals take Caleb Downs. They signed a safety from my Chiefs, but who they signed, let me pull his name. They signed Brian Cook. He's not a great safety, to be honest, and Caleb Downs can do so much. The Bengals just need the best defender they can get.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, that looks great. I love the Browns trading out of that spot. I think they traded, I don't remember, yeah, they made some mistakes, and now they do need those picks. So I do like that. I think they went defense with their first pick, number 5.
Mason Graham.
Mason Graham, that's right. So yeah, I absolutely agree. I think they'll totally go offense, but I like them going offense but trading back. No need to take that tackle up front. I do agree with you there. And every year we hear the same stories, but I've heard this is going to be a big trading draft.
I've heard that too. I hope so. I hope we're trading up.
Me too. I love it. It's so funny because you hear that it's a bad draft and no one knows anything, but then everyone wants to trade up in it. Ooh, yeah. My take with the draft in general is just like, hey, every year it's a crapshoot. There's never a great draft. We've never had an amazing draft. Maybe the 3 quarterbacks, but like, even still, you just never know. Commanders, obviously, I totally agree. If David Bailey's on the board there, it does feel unlikely. I feel like David Bailey's hype is growing. I don't know much about college football, as you know, but like, I've been hearing David Bailey's name a lot recently.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of a gift for them. I kind of highly doubt it, but we'll see. The Saints thing, Carnell Tate, I love. I mean, Shuck is maybe the best quarterback from that last draft. Like, get him a real weapon, and see what happens. The Chiefs, I don't really disagree. I think, kind of in terms of value, it does make sense to go edge first. I just think, like, it's tough when you have such a big need. I think their secondary is just the biggest need by far. It's why I am just down on them. Like, I don't think you just sell your secondary and, like, recover without, like, majorly addressing it. I would, like them to go Caleb Downs. If Caleb Downs is on the board, I feel like that's, like, somebody you can just anchor your secondary to and be like, okay, we chillin'. I think it doesn't feel very sexy because it's like, oh, we traded away our amazing thing and then we replaced it with our first round pick. Our first overall. It's kind of like a wash, which I think wouldn't get the fans excited. So I do get going edge there and maybe addressing it later in the draft with that second first round pick. But I would be feeling the most scared of the Chiefs if they leave that 9 with Caleb Downs, I think. Unless you guys were to somehow trade up and get David Bailey.
I just think the value isn't there. Like, when you look at the contracts, I mean, my whole thing is we should get a pass rusher at 9 and get a corner at 29. And this is actually a pretty deep safety class. After Caleb Downs, the fall off is huge. The safeties we could get in the first and second round could almost be later in the first round, could be similar to like a third or fourth round safety. We have a few fourth round picks. I just think when you look at you could get really good Pro Bowl safeties in the fourth round. That's pretty much historically how it's been. It's just not a super valued position. I'll be shocked. I mean, I think if Caleb Downs is on the board, like, we consider it. I do think we leave the top 10 with an edge, and if the board falls this way, we're a strong candidate to trade up with the Browns.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I think value-wise, it definitely makes sense to go edge. I just think you're playing a scary game with all of a sudden you do get to week 8, and it's like, our secondary sucks. Winning games is really hard, and, like, we're really like, we're getting pressure, but it kind of doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like to me, that was like the Browns with Myles Garrett. 5 sacks a game, losing every game by double digits. Like, I don't know.
I think we both agree Mahomes and the offense are better than Shador and company. I do think...
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I do think that part of our problem is we can't generate a rush unless we send 6. Like, fuck 5. We really can't generate a rush unless we send 6, which... Even when we have great corners, that leaves them out to dry, basically, because you're going to get separation after that many seconds.
That's true. I see that point. Like, fixing your secondary so you can actually get pressure first. But
I'd rather have a C secondary and an A-plus line, if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
Like a middle-of-the-road
I would usually agree. I just feel like when you have such a big need, and there's such a great player who fits that need, and he's maybe going a pick after yours.
Oh, we didn't even talk... We didn't even talk about this. I texted you this last night, though. Alohi Gilman, the safety who we signed, he's a stud. Like, he was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Week last year. I like him a lot. To me, because of that signing, the safety is not as big of a need as pass rush or corner. I think we have to leave the first round with an edge and a corner.
Yeah, I agree. Corner is important. I just want, you guys really, like, have no continuity, and, like, when a bunch of new pieces are coming together, it's nice to have, like, a really good player, a star that can, like I said before, anchor that unit. But I agree. A great edge would be,
I think Ruben Bain is a stud. Again, I'm not, the arms make me nervous, but I hope that, like, sometimes arm length with edge is a little dependent on scheme. I don't think Spags would put him in a position where, like, length is going to be the main priority. He's going to become more that speed dip rusher, you know?
I'm not worried about the arms at all, to be honest. Yeah.
I think Ruben Bain, David Bailey, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, one of those 5 guys is going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. And that's what I want out of our 9th pick. Someone who is just
totally. Now, here's a question for you. You guys don't trade up. David Bailey's gone, Ruben Bain is gone, and Arvell Reese is gone. Who are you picking?
In that scenario, are you saying Sonny Styles is on the board?
No, let's say Jeremiah Love fell, Carnell Tate fell.
Oh, then I would...
People are going defense, which I think is possible.
Tate or Downs, then. Tate or Downs. Depending on what the plan is in the building, Tate or Downs.
Yeah. I don't hate Tate either. It's a long summer. I don't know who's babysitting Rasheed, but...
Yeah, literally. Also... I think he's achieved this year because of the rookie contract, but he went on a live stream saying he wants JSN money. No way in hell is Andy Reid giving him JSN money. No. So I would be okay with Carnell Tate. Again, I think that safety free agency doesn't get a lot of press, but I look through all our free agents. I feel fine with who our starting safety is. Okay. I think we need to add another safety, and we need to add probably 1 or 2 corners. But to me, the safety value would probably be a mid-round pick, and the corner value is probably going to be 29 or 40. We'll talk about the corners actually in a second, but I think the corners, the 3rd and 4th best corner, are really close to the 1st and 2nd best corner, whereas the next group of edges is quite far from Bailey and Bain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but that's all good points. As we talk about corners, we have 2 flying off the board right away. Probably the only 2 teams that have a bigger secondary need than the Chiefs. We got the Dolphins taking Mansour Delane, cornerback out of LSU. I trust an LSU quarterback, SEC guy. His comp is Quinyon Mitchell, which, awesome. He's a great tackler, but he can draw some flags, which... I don't really care. Cowboys, Jermon McCoy. Some people have him ranked higher than Mansour Delane. He probably would have been a top 10 pick if it wasn't for his ACL tear. So again, these are the traits in the prior production, but not necessarily production from this year. I look at him as like a high IQ, confident player. Really great team guy. Awesome pick for the Cowboys if they go like this. The Rams, this is a tough pick because this isn't their pick, so it probably feels like free money to them. The last time they picked in the first round, they got Jared Verse, who's maybe one of the best defenders in the league. I have the Rams taking Jordan Tyson. I don't know if Puka's on the team eventually. I think his shenanigans are too much. Jordan Tyson is a bit of a risk. He missed time. You're not going to like this. Knee in 2022, collarbone in 2024, hamstring 2025. But the Rams are kind of loaded up right now. They can take a gamble. It's that versatility that makes me think McVay goes him over Mekhi Lemon. He can truly play the X, the slot, great contested catch guy. Again, my only concern with Jordan Tyson is injuries. We'll do a couple more, then pause. Ravens, I'm going to butcher this. Ali Villavega. Oh, I didn't. Ali Villavega, offensive guard. I wanted to go D-line here, but again, the guard drop. There's the deep guard class, but he sort of is a tier of his own, which it makes me feel like they go guard first and address D-line later, especially with that Trey Hendrickson signing. I like him. He's a run blocker. Got Derrick Henry. Got the Bucks taking Akeem Mesidor. This is one of the only picks that seems consistent across all mock drafts. Most people have the Bucks taking Mesidor as an edge. He is not. I do not think he's the third or fourth best edge in this class. Let's say third and put Arvell Reese in a category of his own. I don't think he's the third best edge in this class. This is why. He's 25 years old. He had a serious foot injury in 2023. He chases big plays. His upsides, though, is has a lot of experience. He's a good run stopper. He's got great measurables. So it's one of those things that I don't know if the ceiling's there, though. I don't love drafting a 25-year-old in the top 15. And we'll end this little section with the Jets taking Ty Simpson. Jacob, if you are watching, I'm sorry. It's gonna happen. They're gonna take Ty Simpson. If they don't take him, someone's gonna trade back up around this time to take him. I do not think he's a first rounder. I wrote down classic Bama, Mac Jones comp. He's a smaller version of Daniel Jones. The only reason his stock is up is because he played good against Georgia, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt in a 3-week stretch, and then finished the last part of the season with a 50% completion rate. And I will say my biggest critique of Ty Simpson is I don't think I've seen him make any layered throws. He can do that moon ball or short checkdowns, but those more intermediate, advanced routes, those aren't necessarily in his arsenal right now. What do you think of those next 6?
Interesting. I got a few things.
Yeah.
It brings me back to, I almost am like, what are the, no one's talked about it. Like, what if the Chiefs traded back 2 picks, got one of these corners and another third rounder or something? Like, the fact that 3 secondary players are going to go right after the Chiefs pick makes me just be like, they need to take a corner or something. Like, I don't know.
I think the next 2 corners are really close to these 2 corners, but the edges are not. Also,
okay, yeah, why'd you put these 2 this close to the top of the draft?
Just because of team need. I mean,
yeah.
Dolphins have the biggest secondary need in the league. Cowboys have the second, probably. I mean, we play fantasy football. If you would pick up a quarterback on the waiver wire who's playing one of those 2 teams, just for a flyer. I don't know if they're going to go like this. I think both these teams need a ton of things. I think secondary is an obvious thing. I could see the Cowboys going D-line here and then corner the next pick. Again, I think the corners are all pretty close together. There's a lot of people then have the third corner coming into this section as well. Like, they're all close together. I don't hate if the Chiefs do that if that second O-lineman doesn't go, and then the board falls in a way where basically every player we've talked about is off, and then we trade back, take a corner there, figure out edge with the next pick. But you got to see how the board falls.
Good, you got options. Yeah, totally. Rams, this is the biggest one I want to talk about. Like, why the fuck do the Rams need a wide receiver? What are we talking about? Like, they have the best receiver room in the league, I would argue. It's like, they finally have a good draft. Like, there is no world where I see them taking a receiver. And if they do, that's just like, okay. Like,
I mean, I think the Puka stuff is crazy. And Sean McVay runs that room. He wants toys.
Yeah, they have some flaws, though, on that team, and receiver ain't one of them. Like, that is the best position group on that team, is the receivers. And I think Puka's gonna be fine. I mean, I know long term, maybe not, but, like, he's gonna be there this year. Now is not the time to address receiver.
I mean, I think it's a luxury pick, but I think the Rams think that they added their 2 corners and they're good. Like, I think they look at it as a luxury pick. I've seen some people put Sadiq there.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I much prefer, like, a big boy tight end going to them. Because at least it's different than a receiver. Like, you got your receivers. I don't know. I would like Sadiq there a lot more. I would be scared if the Rams were like, oh man, they get to add Sadiq. Like that just doesn't feel fair because they were so good last year. I really don't see them going wide receiver. That feels like a wasted pick to me. I would rather them trade it than go wide receiver. Like I just don't see that person really contributing at a high level this year in that room to make that pick worth it. Much rather just go get some depth on defense or something.
Yeah.
Like the offense is going to be fine if Stafford can make it through the season. Like that's all you're literally. It's like if he stays healthy, you're going to be fine. You're going to score a lot of points. It's going to be great. But I mean, yeah. Or if he gets hurt, what's the point of having a receiver anyway? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just see defense or Sadiq for the Rams. Ravens, I agree. You made that blockbuster trade. They lost their center. What's his name? He was really good. Linderbaum.
Yeah, they'll probably move.
He was
a guard
great
over.
run blocker. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I like building that lineup. You got Henry still. He's got hopefully a little gas left in the tank. So open up some lanes for him and Lamar. I like that a lot. Bucks feel like they're just falling off. So I feel like they're slipping back into that irrelevant territory where like I don't really care what they do. I don't know.
So why not just take an edge? It's like
yeah, take an edge. Okay. And the Jets, I actually like taking Ty Simpson a lot. I think
no point in building your team if you don't have a quarterback.
Exactly. If he was good and you have your quarterback figured out going into next year's draft, when quarterbacks are allegedly going to be a lot hotter and there's going to be,
allegedly.
More. Yeah, exactly. Like a want for them, and you can have some flexibility in that draft and not be stuck trying to draft another quarterback yet again. I like it. I get it's risky. It's tough with a quarterback, but I do feel like quarterbacks taken inside the top 5 are just as risky as Ty Simpson and like don't pan out all the time. So this is actually a pretty kind of like you said, house money pick. You got the Colts pick.
Yeah.
You've already taken a stud defender with your second pick. Roll the dice. I like it a lot. I think it's a no-brainer for them. I'd be shocked if they do anything else.
Oh, I like everything you just said. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Sadiq in a second. You said you want a big boy tight end who is do this other things. In my mind, Sadiq, his stock has risen too much. That is not a big boy tight end. That's a receiving tight end. It's basically a worse version of Travis Kelce, in my opinion. I don't know. He's not going to be doing much size-wise and blocking-wise, but we can get to that. We'll speed through these next few. Lions, I have them taking Caden Proctor opposed to Spencer Fenner. The reason I did this is Proctor just feels Campbell to me. His biggest trait is that he's big and tough. He's a downhill blocker. There's some notes about inconsistent mechanics, but big and tough just feels like Campbell. Another pick here at the Vikings where every mock seems to be aligned. Got Vikings taking Dylan Thyman, safety. Probably the second best safety in this class. Their front's really good. They need to shore up that secondary. I almost went wide receiver here, though. Because, so I forget, he left the team, this number 2. Anyway, Panthers take Kenyon Sadiq. I think the Panthers got a great defense. Their success is all about Bryce right now. Get him, a playmaker, big catch radius. He might not be much for the line in that form of being a tight end, but he's a playmaker, big guy, tight end. Not big like a linebacker, but good size for tight end. Cowboys. I really wanted to go Peter Woods here and go D-line, but Peter Woods is pretty inconsistent on the run, and I'm going to listen to Jerry. Jerry says cares about stopping the run. CJ Allen, he's a Georgia Bulldog, high floor player, high IQ. This might be a little bit of a reach, but after Arvell Reese, he's clearly the next best linebacker, just a high floor player, which is what the Cowboys need. I got the Steelers going Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. This is my favorite non-top edge in the draft. I thought, McCarthy's there, maybe they don't go defense, but it's just such a clear need. Their defense is getting old. He's versatile, he's high character. All the cons are more that, he lacks hand discipline. He can overrun the pocket. Just traits. He's young. He seems like a pure pass rusher, and you get yourself a pure pass rusher when you play Burrow and Lamar twice a year.
Yeah. I like it. I would argue, isn't TJ Watt pretty good pure pass rusher?
How old is he?
I mean, I guess. I kind of feel the same, I don't know. Everybody, I guess, needs a pure edge rusher, but like that's part of the reason with the Chiefs. It's like if you're still paying Chris Jones, like that's your pure edge rusher. Go get a cornerback. Same thing, Steelers. You're paying T.J. Watt a boatload of money still. I get it, he's aging, but like you've got other needs. You got to let your superstar kind of take that role, and if they can't do it anymore, you shouldn't be paying them. Like that's kind of the bottom line for me. Like, oh, if you don't think that person is producing, why are they like one of your highest paid players on the team? Especially with T.J. Watt. I think T.J. Watt is great.
Their whole D-line is old.
Yeah, that's true. Steelers defense just always feels the best like part of that team to me. I don't know. Steelers are tough because I just don't know who their quarterback is going to be. Are we still with Rodgers? Is that the plan? Is it? When is that going to be announced? Yeah.
They could go O-line here. I was looking at that, but the value for guard didn't feel like it was there right now.
Yeah. And it is tough because if Rodgers is your quarterback, I just don't... There's no piece that puts you over the edge. You're a first-round exit with Rodgers. Kind of no matter who you play, in my opinion. Like...
Well, that's how I feel about the Bucs too. Just go get yourself a good edge.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I guess. Yeah, maybe there is nothing on offense you can even do. So just when in doubt, go get an edge. Yeah.
Well, they got a million tight ends. Now they got 2 wide receivers. Again, the O-line needs help, but the value didn't feel like it was there right now for guard. I don't see them taking a tackle right away. Like
this could be a honestly, depending on who falls. Like if Sadiq were to fall here or something, I could see the Steelers moving out of this pick.
Yeah, I think they're a good trade candidate. I also think the Rams could be a good trade down candidate.
I also think I've heard, was a while ago, but rumored, like you said, CJ Allen, a bit of a reach. I've heard the Cowboys talking about moving down.
Yeah.
So I do think like there will be a trade in these picks, maybe between the Vikings and the Steelers. Yeah, exactly. Like around this 20 area, like that one player who fell.
I could also see the Vikings trading back for sure because there's a few, like, they could go get the other safety if they wanted, you know? So.
Yeah, totally. I agree with you.
I know that you like Sadiq. You're high on Sadiq. You think he's good for your boy Bryce?
Yeah, I think Sadiq will be great wherever he goes. Like, just a nice weapon. I agree he's getting a little more hyped now, but it's so much different. It's really not like... Think about the Kyle Pitts hype and some stuff like that.
Where, not like that. It's not like that.
Right, like the pressure's not going to be actually that insane. Like he's going to be a mid to late first round tight end. Like I could see him really stepping up and having a great rookie season with the expectations not being... I mean, I think he's going to go lower than like Colston Loveland went and stuff like...
Oh yeah.
I kind of like his value for how good I think he is. He hasn't quite reached that, like, he should be a top 10 guy, or, like, you know what I mean? Which, you never know.
I've seen
Still a week away.
I've seen a few comps that's, like, Kyle Pitts is his comp, which is just, like, ooh. Again, like, the only tight end who, like, I'm not going to give so much shit to for not being great in the blocking game is Travis Kelce, because he was just, like, that generational as a pass catcher. But, like, that's, like, a 1 in a billion player, you know? Like, I think Colston Loveland could be turning into that. He's more of a pure pass catcher. But I think, I don't know. I think Sadiq, to me, is more of a late first-round pick, like, post-20. I mean, which is pretty close to 20, but... I do think he's getting a little overhyped. I also think the gap between him and Eli Stowers is way closer than people think. And Stowers is probably going to go in the second round, who is a bigger tight end. He can do the blocking stuff. I don't know. I think Sadiq's gotten a little overhyped.
That's fair. I do think there is like the position's changing a little bit, kind of more towards that.
Oh yeah, more towards
people
Kelce.
Are trying exactly where like you don't have to block as much, but there also I do think is kind of, that's part of the reason I like him, the Rams taking him, is like, I do think tight end is a little more valuable than receiver in a lot of ways. If you have, there's just a lot fewer. It's like in fantasy, if you get the best tight end on the season, and then there's this like major drop off with everyone else, like just having one of the top 5 tight ends in the league is amazing. You see Loveland dropping like 40 fantasy points. Like the production can be insane. So I don't know. I do like Kenyon Sadiq more than most of the wide receivers in this draft, I think, in terms of value.
Oh, yeah.
Not Carnell Tate. I like Tate over him, but...
Tate, to me, it's not even, like, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, I don't think it's close. Tate is, like...
Yes.
He's also an Ohio State wide receiver. They do pretty well.
Bada bing, yeah.
They do pretty well. Let's get into the back 10 or 11 picks with our star playoff teams, right?
Here we go, baby.
Here we go. So let's kick it off with the Chargers. So most mock drafts have the Chargers taking Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I just feel like safety is great, but it's not a D lineman, right? It's not an anchor to your team. And when I think Jim Harbaugh, I think an anchor to your team. You know, just the value is here. They also need guards, but again, all the guards felt like reaches and their tackles are set. So just went with like a nice pure D lineman. Let's get into the Eagles, who I have taking Spencer Fano. And again, this is a fall. For sure it's a fall. I could see him going way earlier than this, people trading up to get him. It just was like looking at the need and the teams that were there. And it felt like, you know, Spencer Fano was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little undersized and he has some technique concerns, which are the same things people said about Jason Kelsey coming out of college, which is why I think it's a great fit for the Eagles. He's a 3-year starter with reps at both right tackle and left tackle. He's quick, great hand strikes, athletic, and he's a really, really good run blocker. I originally, in the first mock draft, had the Eagles taking a wide receiver. There's rumors now that the Eagles have pulled out of the A.J. Brown trade because of all the Rossini stuff. I don't know if I buy that, but I also have seen that the Eagles have had a lot of small wide receiver additions this offseason, and maybe they just believe Smitty's their one, like a true one. With that, the Browns take Mekhi Lemon, which again is a fall, but there's a lot of reports that he interviewed really badly at the combine, and he had some IQ concerns, like recognizing coverages, like route tree, that sort of stuff teams were concerned about, again, with the bad interviews, which feels like a bad combination, which, to me, this is a likely fall candidate because of that. And, you know, again, it's the Browns. Their defense is great. They're going left tackle and wide receiver in the first round. They're trying to help Shedeur succeed, or at least that's what I think they should be doing. We'll do 2 more and then switch it up to give us some feedback, Coley. So I got the Bears taking Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle. He's a little sloppy, not great upper body strength, but, you know, he's really athletic and he's great in pass pro. He also is a left tackle, and in case you haven't heard, the Bears left tackle is out this next season with a severe injury. So maybe he's not a left tackle in the league, but they need eventually a right tackle as well. So I think that's a great choice for the Bears. The Bills. Now, this isn't what I would do, but when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. The Bills have been visiting with a lot of first-round wide receivers. Denzel Boston has visited twice. The offensive coordinator is now the head coach, which usually means a shift to an even more offensive culture, right? And again, this is not what I would do. I think they should go linebacker or safety. But when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Nice. Yeah, I don't disagree. I agree with you on the Chargers. I think go defense. You have a lot of healthy offensive stars that were not healthy last year returning to that line and stuff. I think it's fine to not really address the line, even though it was so bad, just because you have 2 basically superstars coming back to it. It should look a lot different. The Eagles, I agree. I like them going offensive tackle. I think they've added too much receiver and given too much money to it. You can't keep A.J. Brown at this point. Maybe they back out with the Patriots and they dish him somewhere else or something, but, like, I will be shocked. It's basically what you said for the Bills. Like, somebody tells you who they are and signs 3 receivers before the draft, like, believe them that they're trading A.J. Brown in June. Yeah. I do not think A.J. Brown will be an Eagle after giving Dontavian Wicks $12.5 million. But I do like them. That's why I like them going offensive tackle. That feels right to me. Also, you don't need so many receivers if you're the Eagles when you're, like, the issue with your team is that the quarterback doesn't throw to the receiver. Like, it's just too much receiver for a team that does not need it, I think.
100%.
And I agree. I think they're all in on Devontae Smith. So, Browns, I agree with you. I think you got to go offense this draft specifically. You got to give the quarterback a fair shot. You want to actually test him. You know what I mean? I think that's classic where, like, these bad quarterbacks or these fine quarterbacks that are developing go to bad teams and it's like, that quarterback is bad. When in reality, it's like, did they have a fair shot? You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's evaluate him.
Look at Mac Jones. Hey, maybe he just had a defensive coordinator calling his plays and he actually can hurl it in a good system. Like, you see that all the time. So I like that feels smart to me. Bears, that feels like an obvious pick.
Yeah.
And the Bills, I think there was this idea that when you have an amazing quarter, and sometimes it works, but like, hey, our quarterback will move it around. It's fine. Like, the Chiefs kind of got rid of Tyreek and didn't really address it, and it worked. You won a Super Bowl.
Off that year, yeah.
Yes, but, you won one. Like, I do think, hey, it helps to have an amazing...
We won back-to-back after we got rid of Tyreek. But I also think Mahomes and Reed are better than Josh and his coach, even if you call Josh and Mahomes a one.
But I guess my point is, look where you are now without... You haven't addressed it, really, and, like, your best receiver was out. Like, I do think... And same thing with the Bills. They got rid of Stephon Diggs, and it was like, see, we're better. We can move the ball around and spread it out. And it's like, actually, no. Usually you're worse, and you have less success, and, like, we'll see your floor when you don't have a good receiver. So, like... I like it for them. I think you added DJ Moore as your 2, and you can go get a young guy who can actually help. Like, Josh can still spread it out. You're not stuck having to, like, especially if you're a rookie, like, there's no pressure there. I like them getting elite on offense. At least do that. Their defense is never very good.
I hear you. I'm not sure Denzel Boston is elite, but it's tough because, like, the Chiefs were able to do it when they moved off of receivers, but that's the Chiefs, and they've sort of broken the mold.
And I think something for the Chiefs is that was Travis Kelce's prime. So you had, like, one of the best tight ends of all time in their prime to kind of cover the fact that you had no good receivers. Whereas, like, as soon as Kelce exited his prime and you never addressed that receiver slot, you do see a difference. Mahomes has to work a lot harder. Yeah.
For sure. I also think what's interesting is the sirens are warming us up again with the Bills.
Yeah. It's
getting hot in here. I think what's interesting with the Bills is if you look at the last 2 years, Josh has thrown the ball very little compared to how he used to throw the ball, right? Like, if we're talking about amount of throws, he is one of the, like... It's actually shocking how little the Bills throw the ball, but he just is really good when they do. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if that's going to change this year with the new head coach. I think the Bills are one of the most interesting teams in football with a new head coach and a Hall of Fame quarterback in his prime. I think that's it's very rare to see. I don't even remember the last time we saw it. I guess it would be Aaron Rodgers exiting his prime and LaFleur coming in, but that's nowhere close to what's going on right now. So I don't know. I wouldn't take a wide receiver out of the Bills. I think their defense has so many glaring needs.
Totally.
But if someone shows you how they are, believe them.
Yeah.
So let's go to the 49ers, who, again, Nick Bosa's great. All these guys are great, but they are old. The 49ers feel like they missed their window with this current roster simply because of age. And I think they shocked the world last year with how good they were, and a lot of that I think was coaching, but they need to get younger on defense. They need to get younger fast. Caden McDonald, they could go offensive tackle here because Trent Williams is also getting older, but I think the defense is an even bigger need, especially since you don't have Saleh to sort of be that safety blanket. Mm-hmm. I don't love McDonald, to be honest. Like, one of the first things you see on these reports about him is he's not a true pocket collapser, and that's just like, ugh. Like, do I want a D lineman who doesn't collapse the pocket? But he's really good at recognizing the run game, and he has really good tackle production, so that feels to me like a 49er. And he's quick, changing direction, so that just felt like a Shanahan pick. Blake Miller, offensive tackle for the Texans. This is just the best tackle on the board right now, and I don't think the Texans should overthink it. He's a right tackle, not a left tackle, but they need every spot. Yeah. He's not great with footwork, not great with hands, which, like, every prospect says the same thing. He can get beat by better rushers due to that poor technique, but he's got really good measurables. His stock is rising because of a pro day and sort of, like, his measurables. So, high ceiling, good awareness, good in pass pro. Again, don't overthink it, Texans. Get the best tackle available. Here you go, Cole. The Chiefs address their secondary and take Avion Terrell, who I cannot say enough about. He is a Spags player. We'll talk about some players that fell out of the first round at the end of this because they could maybe go Colton Hood here. But the reason I went Terrell is because the number one thing people say about him is he's competitive and aggressive. That feels like the Chiefs of old before this last year slump. It's a competitive team. Spags is competitive. He's very high character and high IQ. Everyone has great things to say about him, how he recognizes the game. Again, feels like a Spags player. He was leading the FBS in forced fumbles. He attacks the ball as a corner. He doesn't just go after getting interceptions. He goes for fumbles. That, again, just feels like a Chiefs player. He would go earlier if it wasn't that he was smaller. And again, feels like a Chiefs player, a small corner. Dolphins go Omar Cooper Jr. They could go KC Concepcion here or maybe get a defensive lineman, but they don't have, like, who's their number one receiver right now? Omar Cooper Jr., again, I have mixed feelings about him. His production was insane. He had like 20 touchdowns over the last 2 years. He's very physical, great lateral separation. He's not a great run blocker, and he's inconsistent on intermediate breaks, and there's some, like, IQ recognition questions that have come up, but, I don't know, the Dolphins just get players. Like, you don't have a roster right now. You don't have a receiver. Here you go, Cole. Your Patriots take Zion Young, a guy that I am really high on. 6'6", 265. That's a big boy. He's more of a power rusher, but he has really good footwork, so he's very developed. So this is a player who has a high floor. He's going to come in and produce right away. He's not the fastest D-end, but he's got size and power and good technique, which, again, just a high floor player for Vrabel feels like a right fit. And then I have the Seahawks taking Cassius Howe. I wanted to go... I almost went wide receiver here. I almost went D-line here. I feel like the Seahawks can do a lot with this pick. They are a pretty complete roster, but everything I'm seeing is that the one thing they might need to address right away is edge off of some turnover. You know, it's the same thing, technique concerns, but he has 3 straight high production seasons. He's really good at changing direction. He's a good pass rusher. Feels like a nice pick for the Seahawks.
Totally.
What do you think of this final 6?
Yeah, I mean, these feel pretty solid. Yeah. 49ers, I don't know if I fully see them doing that. It always feels like the 49ers defense is their strongest unit.
Oh, I disagree with Shanahan. Their offense can produce.
I guess that's true. A lot of it was Saleh. So, like,
yeah.
That's the question for me is, like, can they stay good without Saleh? I just think, like, if you're out on some of these players and you're getting their replacement, like, you should be moving off these players and not paying them so much money. Like,
but I like the mentoring aspect of like, learning behind Nick Bosa, like, who I think we're going to leave this draft with a tight end maybe more in the mid-round. Like, that tight end's going to get to learn behind one of the greatest tight ends of all time. Like, there's something to be said about mentorship in this league.
Totally. That's true. Yeah, and I don't know what I would rather them do. Like, they did address offense. They got Mike Evans.
They just gotta get younger.
Yeah, Trent Williams, right?
Yeah, like, I could see them going Blake Miller here.
And he is getting old. So is McCaffrey, so, like, keep some lanes opening up. I don't know. That's a tougher one. I could see them doing a lot of the things. Texans, I think, is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Obviously, love the Chiefs. I think you have to go corner here, like, which is fine. There'll be options. Like, you usually don't love to be in a spot where you, like, are drafting based on need, but I feel like at this point in the first round, it doesn't really matter. Like, get your need. You know what I mean?
McDuffie was the 28th pick in starting that season. Again, this guy would be a top 12, 10 pick if it wasn't that he was a little smaller. And I don't even think the size is that big of a problem. Honestly, he's sort of a little bigger than McDuffie was. But this just feels like a Spags player. High IQ, competitive, aggressive, forcing fumbles. Feels like a Chief.
My one thing is there's nothing about, like, coverage in that statement. You know what I mean? Like, I want my cornerbacks having really good coverage, not forcing fumbles.
He's great in man-to-man. The biggest questions about him are size and run support.
Okay, yeah. So who cares? Yeah.
I don't care about run support, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's a no-brainer to me. I mean, if the Chiefs fix their secondary, they don't have a lot of holes. That I agree with. I just hope he'll be enough. And maybe he will be. Like, if... I do like the competitiveness, aggressiveness. Like, that does feel very Chiefs-like and Spags-like. So that feels like an easy, solid pick to feel good about. Dolphins...
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. This is the classic, like, oh, you gave up Waddle and you got another receiver. You know what I mean? It's kind of that, you know, I don't know. It's just like a wash to me. But I like that pick for them. Patriots, yeah, definitely got to go edge here. Unless we move it, I could see us, if we don't love Zion Young, like moving back into the second round or moving up earlier, top 20-ish. But I kind of don't think we will. I kind of think we'll just pick here. Zion Young
options.
Yeah. Zion Young makes a lot of sense. I really hope if we do keep this pick and are just picking here, because there would have been other options. Like, we could have moved this pick for a Brian Thomas Jr.-esque player, or taken instead of A.J. Brown. Instead, we're saving this pick. I think we're going to use 2027's first on A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
So I do think we have to go edge here. I'll be pretty disappointed if we don't. My one concern is, the guy we replaced Javion Clayson with is D'Ernest Johnson from the Ravens, who is really good. The Ravens wanted to keep him. That was kind of the fallout of the Max Crosby trade, is they couldn't re-sign him, and we snatched him up. But he is also... The downside is he's not fast. He's a power rusher. There's no speed coming to him. So ideally, my hope was to pair him with an edge in the draft that had speed, so we have one power rusher and then some speed off the other side. But... I don't know, get best edge available, I think, so I'm fine with it.
I mean, I think Keldrick Falk would be a great fit for you guys. I just think he's going to go earlier. I also think Cassius Howell, Zion Young, it's more about, your preference. I've just seen the Patriots really attacking youth in their drafts over these last few years, which, again, he has 3 years of high production, but that's also 3 years of on-your-body high production come out of college a little later than, some of these other guys.
Yeah. And maybe I was watching saw some clip talking about taking we do need a replacement for Morgan Moses, so drafting a right tackle here makes a lot of sense potentially, and it would just give us depth this year. Should there be an injury, we can plug that guy into somewhere else. So and the left guard we got is injury prone. That's the only other thing I can see us doing is a young right tackle to learn this season and give us depth. I'd also be happy with that.
I got something for you after that for our second round fallers, unless you have anything to say about the Seahawks.
No, that makes sense. I could see this is a classic Super Bowl champion moves out of the first round. Anybody wants to come in for that one guy who fell, I could see them trading back here. Or just, they're in a great position. Best player available, truly. They could do anything, and I'd be like, yeah, nice pick. They could go punt, kicker here. I don't know.
Final thought before we move into our second round fallers. If Omar Cooper Jr. is there at that point, I see a world where the Raiders trade up for him to keep him and Mendoza together. This would only be a 3-pick trade up for them. So I wouldn't hate that at all. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And so we'll look at the Chiefs corner in a second. Well, going off the Patriots thing as well, you said you wouldn't hate a right tackle here. I have Max Ian Anchor falling out of the first round, who is probably the last good right tackle of this top tier. He could be, some people have him over Blake Miller, right? Yeah. He's not in that Fano tier, but, I could see the Patriots doing that. He's a true right tackle. He is not a left tackle. So I wouldn't hate that for you guys, Max Ian Anchor. He's one of my honorable mention fallers. On the D-line, TJ Parker, Christian Miller, and Caleb Banks. Those are my 3 fallers of mention. TJ Parker is probably going to be a second-round pick. I've seen a few mocks with Christian Miller and Caleb Banks going up to this first round. Both of them played at big SEC schools. Christian Miller out of Georgia, Caleb Banks out of Florida. They're going to be in this range of 25 to 40 at some point. And then KC Concepcion, I have falling out of the first round. My honorable mention of a tight end would be Stowers. And then the 2 players I really wanted to talk about falling, I got Emmanuel McNeil-Warren falling out of the first round, who's a really good safety prospect, the 3rd best safety in this draft. I was just going through it, and, a lot of people have the Chargers taking a safety. I've talked about the Seahawks taking a safety. And maybe the Seahawks do. They don't have a ton of needs. But it just felt like value. I was looking at the trenches, looking at wide receivers, and I just didn't find a good spot for him.
Yeah, totally. I think we're seeing the field change a little bit. Like, I do think secondary has become kind of underrated.
Yeah.
Guys growing up in college, it's much more exciting to be a receiver. The money's at receiver. It's a pretty similar skill set. So, like, if you have the option, most guys choose receiver. And so you've kind of seen a decline in, like, amazing secondary players. So I think that's interesting. I think we could see that shift where it could shake up the draft and, like, maybe teams are going to really prioritize. And you got a lot of teams now going the two ones in your receiver room, basically, as kind of the idea. Like, I think
like
we
the
could...
Bengals.
Right, exactly. And the Eagles and the Cowboys and these teams that have done it historically. Like, I do think we could see a shift in prioritizing secondary players. And, I mean, example, the Patriots, like, Vrabel and May and Josh McDaniels got all the credit, but, like, maybe we went to the Super Bowl as a super young team because we have the best cornerback in football, and, like, you know, like, maybe it's that underrated at this point. Like, if you have that, same with the Broncos. Oh, the Broncos got the 1 seed with Patrick Surtain. Like, maybe that position is becoming that valuable where it is just, like, that game changing. I don't know. We'll see.
I agree. I think the Eagles win and the Seahawks win has put a really big premium on edges and D-line. Because I think both those teams, even if it's an oversimplification, it feels like both those teams won in the trenches.
Yes, I will say, like, the Eagles' success, a lot of that was due to that they hit on Cooper DeJean. Like, for your line to have success, the receiver, the corner, like, the secondary has to have coverage for 5 seconds, 3 seconds, you know what I mean? True. Minimum. So, like, I do think those go hand in hand where... and the same thing, wasn't the, like, Rookie of the Year, this Seahawks secondary player, one of them? He was amazing. I forget his name, but he was fantastic. Like,
Nick Amenwari.
Yeah, when you hit one of those players, your team changes. So I do think teams taking shots at elite corners makes a lot of sense.
That's actually a good place to wrap, because the one faller I really wanted to note, there's one player I have who was invited to the first round who ends up falling out of the first round. And this happens every year, right? 1 or 2 guys invited don't get drafted. I have Colton Hood, cornerback, falling out of the first round. Again.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Like, the need just didn't super feel there. Like, I could see maybe the 49ers taking him. The Bills, I think, should take a corner. I would be surprised if he, like, again, there's always going to be 1 or 2 guys here. Like, wait, they're still on the board at the second round. But someone's going to be there, right? So my thing about Colton Hood, he's very physical. He's really demanding in the catch space, right? He attacks towards the ball. He's explosive, but he's not great at deep ball tracking, you know, not great instinct, sort of. Like, if you watch the tape, sometimes it just feels a little off. Sure. So that's sort of why I had him falling. And him and Avion Terrell are honestly a toss-up, but I had the Chiefs as the only team in that section drafting a corner, and I just went who I thought was a better fit for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I like that. First round is tough, too. I do think you're right. Like, we could see just, like, a run in the 3rd and 4th round. Every team taking a cornerback and a safety, and, like, yeah, that also happens, but...
And I think that a lot of teams will attack safety and corner in the 2nd and 3rd round. Like, I expect the Chiefs to leave with 2 to 3 secondary players from this draft.
Yes.
But I think it's...
yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's a successful first round for the Chiefs if we leave with an edge and a corner.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It's tough. There's going to be guys who fall.
I mean, that's the thing. I would love Avion Terrell and Caleb Downs. Your secondary is done. Better than it was last year.
You're not listening.
You're good.
We just paid a safety who is good. We're not taking a safety at 9 if you pay a safety.
What safety again?
Alohi Gilmore. No one knows safeties. After Kyle Hamilton and Nick Amenwar, who we were just talking about, name a safety. He was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Week last year. He's made a Pro Bowl a couple. He's good. We have a good safety now, so we can't take a safety at 9. I want us to leave the draft with a safety, but you can't get a safety in free agency and then use the 9th pick on a safety.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you hope your Patriots do? What would be a successful first 2 rounds?
It's tough. I want edge first.
Yeah.
Ideally, I like Zion Young. People are high on him. Round 2, I either like shoring up our line, our O-line.
Yeah.
I think our defense is in really good shape. Like, I love Byard, the safety we added. He led the league in interceptions last year. And he's a vet. Who plays every game, knock on wood, like never has had an injury. Just like
Now you
I
said
like
that.
that a lot. We still have both our corners intact. We have continuity there. Like, I think our secondary is going to be really good. If we add an edge with Durness Johnson, who we added, we still have Barmore and Milton Williams. Like, I think our defense is going to be lethal this year.
I think
Again,
you guys go with tight end in the second or third round also.
Yeah, that's the one thing, is if we don't go edge and could move up for Sadiq, I would like that a lot. Like, I do think...
God, I'm so low on Sadiq right now. I just think that I'm like countering the hype.
Interesting, yeah. I just think a really good tight end, like Hunter Henry had a great start to the season, and then it kind of gave me the ick at times in the playoffs where it's just a little slow, and like a clutch moment he dropped the ball, and like... Man, if Drake May had a stud tight end, like, our offense would be almost impossible to stop. I feel good about our... Like, that's the thing. I think our offense has set us up in a nice position. It's tough because, like, I think we're getting A.J. Brown. Kalshi's got us, like, 70% getting him now. Like, it does just seem like that's still happening. So it's like, I guess we wait on receiver. If that has fallen through with the drama, like, we kind of need to go receiver, for sure. We suck at drafting receivers. I do not trust Elliott Wolf drafting a receiver, so I don't know. I would rather us go defensive edge and then guard or tight end.
If the board falls like this, I don't hate you guys trading up for Mekhi Lemon. Again, it's more like IQ and interview concerns, which I have less worry about with like a Vrabel, like a good coach.
I've also seen Denzel Boston mock to us if Bills don't do that. I just don't know. If we go receiver, I'm going to be like, oh, we're out on AJ now, which is fine, I guess. I do like pairing AJ, Dobbs, and Booty. I think we'll go from a pretty bad receiving group to, like, pretty elite, so...
I like Omar Cooper more than I like Denzel Boston, but I don't love either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is, how do you feel about this mock draft? Give me a grade.
Good. I think you did a nice job. I think that it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It is tough. Like you said, weighing just like best player available, need, their actual production, and just your gut on these guys. I do think it's similar to fantasy football, where like, man, a lot of these boards look so different, and we don't get to sit in the interviews and talk to them. Like, you learn a lot in 30 seconds of talking to a guy if you want to pay him $100 million and work with him for the next 5 years. So like.
Also, this is a draft where everyone's mock looks so different because, again, it's that production versus traits, preferences. Like, this class is a little all over the place, and I haven't seen one or two mocks that feel similar. Yeah.
That's why I do think it should be a draft really more based on need for a lot of these teams. And I think it is. Most of these, there's not going to be any Michael Penix going number 8 by the Falcons after just signing. Like, I think there'll be some trades we don't see coming and stuff, but, like, teams are going to get what they need in this draft. I don't think there's going to be any crazy reaches.
Well, what do you think is Ty Simpson's range? Because I think there's a world where someone trades up a little too comfortably high to get him.
No, I think he goes to the Jets or he falls out of the first round.
I've also seen the Cardinals trading back in to get him. I think there's a world where if the Rams really like him, they take him to sit behind Stafford. Like,
yeah, I don't think they'll do that.
I think Ty Simpson is going to be one of the biggest stories of draft night. I think his range is from like someone trading up into the back of the top 10 all the way to like 25. Like, I think his range is like 20 picks.
Totally, that's fair.
Well, you guys, let us know what you think of our mock draft. What do you want your team to draft? Not just the Chiefs and the Patriots. Like, rate, subscribe, and again, if you haven't checked us out on YouTube, go watch this episode on YouTube. It's a lot easier there.
Mm-hmm. Stay tuned for our draft recap, where we see how accurate this draft really was.
Oh yeah, where we critique me and the draft choices. Hope you guys have a good one. Give us a like. Peace.